So imagine this. You talk about busy, going to 30 states in 30 days. That's exactly what mental health advocate and host of the Mental Game podcast, Brandon Saho, did while raising awareness for mental health.
Cannot imagine that, but he just finished up the tour earlier this month, and he's here with us now to tell us all about it. And it's so great to see you, Brandon.
Great to see both of you. I'm really excited to be here, and yes, I am tired.
I bet you are. So this was part of the Mental Game tour. Tell us about this experience.
Yeah, for me, it was kind of a crazy idea I had to myself where I just, every night going to bed, I'm like, could you go to 30 states in 30 days? Is it possible? And then I mapped it out and decided it is possible. It's a lot of driving, a lot of miles. It's over 5,000, 80 hours of driving. But my goal is to save lives by breaking the stigma around mental health. And I thought this was a really cool way to bring the Mental Game podcast to people in every state. And it was really, really cool to have hundreds and hundreds of one-on-one conversations. We had over 15,000 people come out to the events and had some really, really cool emotional and life-saving moments, I feel like, on tour.
I mean, that's the incredible thing with this, the 30 states in 30 days. Logistically, planning that had to be kind of crazy, I'm sure, but in each one of these things, so there was like an event component, not just the podcast, right?
Correct. So we had 45 events over those 30 days. So, for instance, in one city, I might go to 3 high schools in a day. We started here in Kentucky, and I went to four schools in 5 hours to start the first day. And then throughout the tour, you work with different mental health nonprofits, colleges, universities. One of my favorite was at LSU because, of course, I used to report on Joe Burrow here. So working with his foundation, his mom and dad, I called them. They came down to LSU, and so did some former LSU players that play in the NFL, some gymnasts. So it was just really, really cool to have events like that where people can feel safe, to tell their stories, to hear mine, and look for resources to help them with their mental health.
Yeah, because this really did all start with your story, Brandon, and you admitting that you had mental health issues or challenges. How did that feel, you know, kind of admitting that, and what's come of it? I mean, anything surprise you about the tour?
For me, my journey, I think I'm surprised at how it's been because I thought for my whole life I was going to be a sports reporter. Because that was my dream. I had my dream job. But when I finally asked for help and started telling my story after I started feeling better and going to therapy and reaching out to people, I realized that I wasn't alone and that other people feel the exact same as me. And that's the biggest thing I've learned on the tour. You know, the number one question I got was, what's the biggest thing you take away from your show? Who's the best guest, best interview? And for me, it's just the realization that every single person struggles. It doesn't matter if you're Terry Crews, you're Joe Burrow, like it doesn't matter if you have all the fame, money in the world. Everybody struggles. So telling your story, talking about your mental health can help change your life or save somebody else's.
I love it.
Well, I know that after 30 states in 30 days, you're not resting here. So what do you have next for the Mental Game? New podcast episodes coming up, I'm sure you're working on?
Yeah, new podcasts come out starting in March. I was just telling y'all off air, there's my southern little bit of y'all. I'm from Cincinnati, but I did some time in Baton Rouge, so I get the y'all come out every once in a while. Yes, a new podcast come out in March. I'm getting ready, like I said, I was telling y'all before, to go to LA, Nashville, and New York in April to shoot new episodes. So hopefully some big names coming up here on the podcast.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. It seems like you're really making an impact too. Where can people go to learn more about the Mental Health Game?
Yeah, just search the Mental Game on YouTube, your podcast platforms, anywhere that you listen or watch, also on every social media platform. I would say Instagram, you get to see some really, really cool behind the scenes when we're with these celebrities and players.
Oh, I can imagine the behind the scenes has to be fun too. And I do want to mention too, I mean, now the therapy is cool, like people can get the swag too?
Yes, therapy is cool. Just go to the Instagram or mentalgamepodcast.com. I think therapy is cool. You should go to therapy. Feeling good, feeling bad, it can help everybody. But I'll say this about mental health. The answer is different for everyone. So it might work for me, might not work for you too, for anyone watching at home. So you have to just try it because we can't do it alone. You bottle it up, it makes it 30 times worse. Just give it a shot, please.
You kind of have to talk about it, right?
Oh, I think talking saves lives. We can't do it by ourselves, and so you have to get it out to feel better.
Absolutely.
Love it. Brandon Saho, Mental Game Podcast, thanks so much for joining us, and congrats on the 30 days, 30 states in 30 days.
Thanks. I'm catching up on my sleep still. So.
Okay.
Good idea.
Thank you.
All right.